I'll make it rain all day long. My name is Floyd, my name is Floyd, my name is Money Mayweather. My name is Floyd, my name is Floyd, my name is Money Mayweather.
Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be discussing ways on how to make money as a martial artist. And in reality, there are about 4 real main ways of making money as a martial artist. To kick it off, we're going to start off with number 1. Alright, the number 1 way of making money as a martial artist is actually to become a pro fighter. Now, in the amateurs, you're not going to really make any money. You don't make any money at all. You're not allowed to. Your fight promotion will not allow it. So, the number 1 way, the first way, sorry, I wouldn't say it's the number 1 way, but the first way of making money as a martial artist would be to become a pro fighter. Now, when you start off, you might not make as much as you'd like. You might make very little money. But I believe the top 3 martial arts to compete in would be boxing is probably number 1 still, but mixed martial arts is on the rise. You know, we've seen this in previous years. You know, we see that most people are starting to become fond of mixed martial arts, but boxing, I believe, is still number 1. You know, as you can see, Conor McGregor, for example, he did 1 boxing match, and now he has so much money, he doesn't know what to do with. But the third best martial art to compete in would be Muay Thai or kickboxing. Kickboxing actually is more popular internationally, so I would believe that. But that is the lowest tier of the top 3 martial arts to compete in. But becoming a pro fighter is not easy at all. Even becoming an amateur fighter, most people do not know how hard it is to really become a pro fighter. It takes thousands of hours. It takes years of training to become decent, to become a pro fighter at all. And there are many people training to become a pro fighter. As time goes on, the mixed martial art realm grows, so there's more money for that sport. But then again, the skill pool is growing as well, so you have to be exceptionally good to get into this sport. But as a boxer, you would make more money, but it takes a long time to become good at these sports. It's not going to happen overnight. It's many years of hard work, but that is the number 1. That is the first way of making money as a martial artist. I wouldn't say it's the number 1, because you have to be the top to make a large amount of money. But moving on to number 2 now. Alright, this is the second option that you can choose if you want to make money as a martial artist. So this option is you could become a martial arts coach. You know, you don't have to be the best in the world, and you don't have to have your own gym, even though those things do play a big factor and do help the amount of money that you're going to get. You just have to be good enough to help your student. You know, you don't have to be the best fighter. You could be good at coaching but be bad at actually competition. You know, I believe an example of this would be Cus D'Amato. He is by far one of the greatest boxing coaches of all time, but I do not believe for 1 second in my mind that he is a good boxer. But you can also be good at your sport and good at coaching. An example is Eddie Bravo, as seen in his seminar that I'm playing right now. He is an exceptional jiu-jitsu practitioner, yet he is one of the best coaches ever. And just because you're a good practitioner or you're good at competing does not make you good at coaching. You have to be able to help your student. You have to be able to get them to retain the knowledge. You have to make sure that they're healthy, that they're safe, that they don't get absolutely wrecked in the octagon, in the cage, in the ring, whatever sport that you're doing. You don't want to be a bad coach. You can utilize YouTube, but in reality, you want to learn from your previous coaches. You want to use what's good for you. If you're a practitioner, that's actually good because you know what works. You've been in the octagon, you've been in the ring, you've done these things before. So, giving your style to your student is good, but you also have to give them other options. That's why it's good to study from other people so that you can give your student other options, because not everyone is shaped the same, not everyone is built the same, they can't do everything the same, everyone's different. So it's good to study from other coaches, go to other coaches' seminars, to learn more moves, more options, more strategies, so you can give your student a wider variety of moves to use. For example, one of my wrestling coaches, he would give us all these moves, and everyone was wondering why he would do this, but in reality, he was giving the lightweights options, he was giving the upper weights, he was giving the heavyweight an option. He was giving everyone options to do moves that they would like. And that's what makes a coach so good. They can give their student different strategies, different methods, or if they're good enough, they can teach their student to use their own methods and strategies. But you have to also be able to sell your training sessions, okay? This is very important. You have to be able to sell the student your 10 hours of pad work or whatever it is. But if you are really passionate about coaching, you can open your own gym, which will most likely bring in more money, and you can also bring in other coaches that are good at their particular sport. Say, for example, if you're opening a mixed martial arts gym, you bring in a boxing coach, Muay Thai coach, jiu-jitsu guy, wrestler. You bring in all these coaches, and you can actually learn from these guys. You're the owner of the gym. You learn from them. You can teach your students more. You can do private sessions also in your gym, and you can it's limitless with coaching. Coaching, I said before that fighting is the number one. It's not the number one. It might be the number one on this list because that's the order, but coaching really makes you a lot of money if you're good at it, and if you're good at business and you know how to sell yourself, and you know how to sell your services, and you know how to coach correctly. Because one of the biggest problems I've seen is there are coaches that think they're good, think their student is learning. They might be good at fighting, but their student is not learning, and when it's time to fight, their student absolutely gets wrecked. And that is my biggest fear in life. Teaching someone how to fight, them not learning how to fight, then they get fucked up in the ring or the octagon. That is a bad feeling in your stomach, and it's just a bad review. They're probably gonna leave you. If it's their first fight, they're probably gonna leave you, maybe not, but they might lose trust. But you have to reassure their trust. You have to just get better at coaching, evolve, and know how to sell your method is a little bit harder than being a coach, but I don't believe it's as hard as being a pro fighter, because many amateur fighters use this method, and in fact it's to get sponsored. It's a little bit harder if you're a UFC fighter because they actually have the Reeboks deal, which does not allow them to have as many sponsorships as they had in the past, but most people are not going to be in the UFC, and this actually could help amateur fighters, pay pay for their training bills, maybe help out with the rent. Um, there are tons of clothing companies. There are tons of companies that make martial arts gear, such as boxing gloves and stuff, that will be willing to they'll be willing to sponsor you as long as you have a large following on your social media, or if you're well known, or if you're even a pro fighter. If you're an amateur fighter, I've seen many amateur fighters who have small Instagram, social media followings on other social media sites, yet they still have sponsors. So you got to know how to talk to the sponsors. Um, you should create a sponsorship letter if you want to get sponsored. You should post interesting content on your social media. If you don't have one already, you should make an Instagram. You should make a Twitter, because those are two of the most infamous, not infamous, but two of the most well-known social media platforms, and you could definitely gain sponsors from posting a lot of viral Instagram content and Twitter content, as well as making a Facebook. And YouTube might help, but I believe if you make an Instagram and you post a lot of viral content, people will be willing to sponsor you. I've seen it many times. The last but certainly not least option would be to start a YouTube channel. You know, there are tons of people out there that have martial art YouTube channels. For example, Fight Tips. Shout out to Fight Tips. He's one of the reasons why I started martial arts. You know, I've been watching him for years. But this channel is an example. You know, people. You know, it doesn't drive a lot of. It doesn't drive a lot of. I don't get a lot of traffic yet, but I'm on the rise, and you do have to meet certain criteria to get monetization, but that's actually better for you, because if you post good content, there are less competitors because they have these requirements now in 2019. You know, in the past, since I think 2013, you could just monetize your videos without a certain amount of views or watch time or subscribers. But you know, the recent changes are actually better for people who make quality videos on a regular basis. You know, but starting a YouTube channel definitely helps. And for this step, I'm also gonna say start a blog. You know, I started a martial arts blog. It's MMAblogexperts.com. I'll leave it in the description below. But a YouTube channel / a blog, or both, will definitely help bring in revenue, and especially if you are sponsored and your coaching, that'll all add to your to the amount of money you can make. You could do online coaching sessions on YouTube. You know, you could do coaching videos like Fight Tips does. You know, you could promote your fights on YouTube. YouTube videos are a great option. But thanks for watching. Be sure to thank you so much for watching my video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more.